What's up, everybody? It's Brian from Exact Cybersecurity and IT. Welcome back to the channel. Today's live video. Again, we're going to be breaking down the most recent ransomware attacks and exposing the businesses targeted by ransomware groups on the dark web leak sites that our threat intelligence team here at Exact is constantly doing research, looking for new information on the dark web regarding ransomware groups. I didn't have my mic on. I apologize. So we're going to go through that with you today. We're going to go through who got hit, who's being targeted. I got some information about statistics on ransomware groups that I want to talk about real quickly on the video today. But we have companies in the last several days. I haven't done a update like this since I think the 12th or 13th. And we actually had some companies listed on the dark web on the afternoon of the 13th after I did the last video. So yeah, here we go. We have the video or we have the updates to it on this video today. So we have manufacturing companies, healthcares. No industry is safe. I'm going to cover U.S. based companies. I do want to talk about one Canadian company, but let's talk about today what we're going to go into on these ransomware groups. What ransomware groups are hitting these companies? These are all companies that are not in the news. I decided to start doing this video series because I covered a lot of ransomware events on this channel that hit the news. And I think it's time for people to start realizing how many companies truly are impacted by things like ransomware. And again, we're only talking about one cyber attack vector here, ransomware. Your business email can get logged into and you can be hacked that way. Your network can get hacked. And there can be things like data exfiltration, espionage, and all those things that go on with this stuff. And you need to be aware of what's going on and to what extent. And that's the point of this channel. That's the point in this video. So we're going to cover the last 3 or 4 days of ransomware. There's a ton of companies that were hit. You can start to look in the description and check out the companies that we're going to talk about. I think my team listed them all mostly in the description, so you can start to see those companies who we're going to talk about today, what we're going to start talking about. But you know, the ransomware attacks in 2024 continue to rise, and no business and individuals are starting to get impacted by these events at a higher level. And really, I want individuals to understand that businesses that we talk to on a daily basis that call our office, in my opinion, are not buying cybersecurity services at the level that you would expect for the kind of threat that is out there. So that's leading to companies getting hacked, information spilling over into the dark web, people's private information, people's private health information. We just saw Lehigh Valley Health Network settle for $65 million because they decided when they got hit with ransomware, we're not going to pay the ransom. We're not going to negotiate with these guys. And people's medical records that included nude pictures of patients ended up on the dark web. And those patients hired a lawyer and they just settled a class action lawsuit for $65 million, which was far less, number one, as I just talked about on my podcast, Security Squawk, it's far less than what they would have paid the cyber criminals. And it's even further less than what they would have paid to prevent the attack in the first place. And that's true for every business. So if you're running a business right now and you know you're getting away with not paying your fair share, you know you're not doing this stuff, it's only a matter of time before you're going to end up as a business that I talk about on this channel. So let's just talk about some ransomware stats real quick before I get into who and what got hit over the last several days. But we're here just past the middle of September, and we're only 240 attacks away from beating September of 2023. Every month this year, we've beaten the prior month the year before, and 2024 has seen the most number of ransomware attacks against businesses so far. So we've had in September 2024, we've had 3,604 companies hit by ransomware, and that's just in September. So here we go. Let's talk about the companies that we're seeing in the threat report that I have in front of me from my team here at Exact IT. We have New Electric hit by Hunter's ransomware group. The New Electric provides electrical contracting services across the U.S. They employ about 1,000 people and generate about $200 million in annual revenue. And just so you guys know, I am live. So if you have any questions or you want to drop a comment, you can hit it up in the chat. Appreciate the support. The ransomware group Hunters is a well-organized ransomware group known for targeting critical infrastructure and major industries. This is another example of how even utility and infrastructure services are under constant attack. One outside the U.S. I wanted to cover. I don't know how big, I don't know how well known this group is in Canada, but I saw the numbers and I was like, we should probably mention this one. And we were also looking at the Hunters group at the time, so it's kind of why it popped up. So I'm going to talk about it, but it's a Canadian-based company called AutoCanada, and they're a leading North American automotive dealership with around 4,200 employees, and it says they do about $3 billion in annual revenue. And the Hunter ransomware group strikes again, proving their capability of targeting large multinational companies across various sectors. Remember, on these videos, I'm really only covering US-based companies because that's mainly the market that we serve here at Exact. Although we do have some international clients, we're based in the US, we're headquartered in the US, we work with mainly US companies, and I'm trying to paint a picture for that audience. What I want you to be aware of is the report I have in front of me has organizations all around the world that are hit by ransomware groups, and I'm not covering those. And I would say a little more than half are US, and then the other half are outside of the US. So to give you some perspective, US is still the highest targeted country when it comes to ransomware and cyber attacks in general. So if you're a business owner here in the US, you should be concerned about this because more than half of all cyber attacks are targeted towards US businesses. Next company I want to talk about is natcoglobal.com. They're hit by Cactus ransomware group. Natco Global operates an industrial machinery company generating about $50 million annually with about 250 employees. Cactus is a relatively new but highly dangerous ransomware group known for its double extortion tactics and often demanding ransoms in the millions of dollars. We have a US-based family law firm here on the list, Sherr, Puttmann, Akins, and Lamb, PC. They have a modest size firm with around 20 employees, and they handle sensitive client data. The ransomware group Bianlian, they focus on small to medium-sized businesses, particularly in the legal and healthcare sectors, where the data is highly sensitive. And this group likes to go after a certain type of business, as I mentioned, law firms and healthcare, knowing that they have data that they can do something with and probably get paid if they have it in their possession or they encrypt it. Another company here hit by Cactus ransomware group is Peerless Umbrella. And just so everyone's aware, these ones that I'm covering right now have all appeared on the dark web in the last 24 hours. These have appeared today, September 17th, 2024. And again, Peerless Umbrella was hit by Cactus ransomware. Peerless Umbrella is a manufacturer of high-quality umbrellas generating about $10 million annually, and they have about 75 employees. Cactus, again, showing that they can hit other niches in the manufacturing sector, and manufacturing is a big target for cyber criminals because they know you want to quickly get back up and running so you can sell the merchandise that you produce. We have a private equity firm, Thomas Lloyd, hit by the same ransomware group, Cactus. They seem to be on a roll the last several days and over the weekend. This Thomas Lloyd is a private equity firm managing over $5 billion in assets. They have about 350 employees. And the Cactus ransomware group, they like to hit manufacturing. They like to hit the financial sector. And they're very good at it, as you can see. So who got hit, or who showed up on the dark web leak sites yesterday, September 16th? We have SuperCommerce.ai hit by a group called KillSec. They're an AI-focused e-commerce platform with an estimated $20 million in annual revenue and 100 employees. KillSec is known for their aggressive attacks targeting tech and digital service providers, often crippling their online operations. MCNA Dental, hit by the Everest ransomware group. Talked about them a little bit ago. They hit another company here. They are a major dental insurance provider with over $400 million in revenue and 1,500 employees. Everest is known for targeting the healthcare industry and leveraging stolen patient data for ransom. And then the last group that showed up here on September 16th is Northern Safety. They were hit by BlackBasta, and they are a supplier of industrial safety products with an annual revenue of around $250 million with 700 employees. BlackBasta is a prolific ransomware group known for targeting the industrial manufacturing sector. So we also have quite a few ransomware groups that showed up on the companies that showed up on ransomware dark web leak sites on September 15th, 14th, and 13th. I'm going to kind of cover those quickly here. On the 15th, we had Atlantic Coast Conservancy hit by Ransomhub. They are a nonprofit specializing in land preservation, and they employ around 50 people. Ransomhub targets smaller organizations and nonprofits making use of sensitive data for extortion. And then we also had on the 15th, Accurate Railroad, a US-based company hit by Ransomhub as well. They're a railroad service provider with an annual revenue of about 100 million and 200 employees. And they also were hit by Ransomhub, who basically likes to hit pretty much anybody, quite frankly. This happens to be in the transportation, logistics sector, and Ransomhub, tends to kind of play in every sector. Some other companies, honorable mention here on September 14th and 13th, we had Orchid Ortho. They are a medical device manufacturer who were hit by the big guys Clop ransomware group. We have a Blacksuit ransomware attack named by FD Lawrence Electric. That's an electrical services company, again, hit by Blacksuit. And then the Play ransomware group, they hit Creative Playthings. They are a playground equipment provider. And I'm just going to roll up here real quick. We have a couple others I want to touch on real quick that weren't in the list there. I want to just switch over to another report. Give me 1 second. So we have another law firm here. We have the law office of Michael J. Gurfinkel. They were hit by Bianlian. And it says it's one of the most respected and successful immigration law firms in America. We also have the Blacksuit ransomware group that hit Hostetler Buildings. Hostetler Buildings, based in the U.S., has grown a lot since they started in 1966, and they continue to grow, but there are several things that have never changed. And this just goes on to talk about their business here. But it's Hostetler Buildings. Try to get more information on who they serve here and where they're at. Sorry. They're in Buffalo, Missouri. Okay, so they're in Buffalo, Missouri. Hostetler Buildings in Buffalo, Missouri is on the Blacksuit dark web leak site. Who else do we have here on the 13th? We have, we didn't cover these guys either in the last video. Dimensional Merchandising, a merchandising retail company hit by the Play ransomware group. There were several groups here, or several companies here hit by Lockbit3, a Northeast Florida community action agency. They were hit by Lockbit3, also a company called 5 Star Products. They are in the consumer services sector. They were hit by Lockbit3 along with several other companies outside of the U.S. Were seems like Lockbit went on a little bit of a tear there and released some companies. And remember, I always like to remember everybody who's watching. Appreciate everyone's support here. That these releases are companies that typically are not negotiating or telling the ransomware negotiator on the cyber criminal side that they have no intention to pay. When those things happen, when you're not negotiating what the cyber criminal groups feel are good faith, or you're just telling them we're not going to pay you at all, that's when you start to show up on these dark web leak sites. So I point that out because I went through a lot of companies here on these videos, on today's video, on the other videos that we did last week and the week before. And there's companies that are actively negotiating that don't appear on these sites. So, I just want to give you some perspective. I don't know what the exact ratio is, but I would venture to say that more than half of the companies that are dealing with a ransomware event are at least actively or pretending to actively negotiate with cyber criminals, so their stuff doesn't end up on the dark web as even a threat, because that's kind of how it goes down, right? They put a post up on their dark web leak site and they say you have a certain amount of time. When the timer runs out, we're going to start posting screenshots, or we're going to start releasing sample data. Those are the things that happen when your company's information ends up on the dark web in conjunction with your own ransomware negotiation. So, as I mentioned earlier, guys, 2024 is on track to be one of the worst years for ransomware attacks, with 3,604 attacks already reported in September. We're likely to surpass 2023 numbers every single month for the rest of the year. We've done it every month this year. So the total number of attacks is going to be much higher once we get to the end of 2024 than what it was at the end of 2023. So if your business isn't already prepared for ransomware, and if you're sitting here going, I'm sure, but you don't really know why you're sure that you are protected, I'm just going to urge you to look into getting a risk assessment. Now's the time to get serious. There's links in the description below if you need help with any of this stuff. You can get it from us. You can go somewhere else. All I'm doing here on this channel is making you aware that if you want to start protecting your information, so your employees' information, your patient's information doesn't end up on the dark web and you have to deal with some kind of lawsuit, like I mentioned earlier, that Lehigh Valley Health Network is dealing with, to the tune of a $65 million settlement, because they thought, hey, we're not going to negotiate with the hackers. We're just going to let it play out. Well, it played out in a really ugly way for them, and it plays out the same way for a lot of companies. And I created this channel. I'm on here trying to help you guys understand what the threats are. So just get help. Get a risk assessment done on your business. Start understanding what you need to protect, what you're not protecting. Risk assessment at the end of the day gives you, the business owner, a gap analysis that you can, handle yourself, give to your IT team, and you start to fill in the gaps. You start to take the things that a cybersecurity expert identifies as holes in your cybersecurity, vulnerabilities, things that a cyber criminal will take advantage of if they can get onto your network. Get these holes closed up. Have somebody who takes a 360-degree view and just doesn't recommend one tool or one silver bullet solution. Silver bullet solutions don't exist. That's why I use air quotes. Cybersecurity and doing it the right way is methodical, and it's a process. It's never a point in time. You're never done. So get help with this stuff. Starts with a risk assessment. That's what I would get. It's your health check. It's your check that you do with professionals to make sure that your company is healthy and it's able to withstand all these different threats that come at your business in today's day and age. So links in the description, or go find somebody else to help you. Just get help. That's all I ask. I'm Brian, Exact IT and Cybersecurity. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.